So I've been doing this Warhammer thing for a while now, and in my few years, I've collected some amount of paint, but I don't really have any way to store that paint. Currently, it's just sitting on the shelf behind me, uh, disorganized and frankly in a mess. So I think it's time to change that. On a budget, of course.
All my paints are just sitting on my shelf disorganized. It's an effort in itself to pick up the right color and it slows down any actual painting.
I came up with an idea. We're gonna need mats for this, so yeah. Remember when your teacher said you'd need that? Well, now you do. Because we're gonna use
The idea is simple. Make a straight edged triangle and drill holes for dropper bottles on the tilted face. Then add a backplate behind the tilted face to keep the bottles in place. The height and length we get from the shelf itself. We just need to solve for x and y. I want to have a 30mm clearance between the two diagonal faces, so I'll deduct that from the dimensions used to calculate y.
Okay, let's go get some materials for our build for today. We got the thing, now let's go and pretend to be a woodworker.
Okay, so we have the sheet of MDF thing here. So the next thing, I'm just gonna measure the pattern out and then we'll start cutting. Yeah, didn't fuck it up royally. Though I still have time. Now that we have much more manageable size of the sheet. It's gonna mark the front panel, which will have the holes, and the panel that's gonna be set behind it to keep the bottles in check. Twice, cut once. It's not matching up. Best not to try to force it, just you down yourself, don't fuck up because you are too proud to admit that you could do a mistake or something. I don't know. Measure it again, okay? sentences. Alright, my main part is cut. And next up is just some slight sanding. We're gonna make it all nice and pretty. Next trick is I'm gonna draw the grid here and see if I make any modifications to it, but the basic idea is to have a 5mm border here and then 3cm like little 3cm grid, and then just drill to the center of the grid. Easy. So I now have the grid marked out, but there weren't the bits I needed here. So it's up to the store to get the 25mm bit and the 35mm bit. And then we're off to drilling.
Outopuhelu on tullut hänelle vuoden 2015 eduskuntavaalien jälkeen. Soittaja on todennut saavuttamasta tässä terve. Terve herra presidentti, on Kaikkonen vastannut. Vaikka epäili heti alkuneensa pilapuhelun uhriksi, soittaja kertoi tehneensä vaalikoneen ja todenneen, että hyviä vastauksia sulla. Hänelle tuli Kaikkonen, jatka samalla linjalla. Näin soittaja sanoi.
I got both bits. Now let's get back to work and start drilling the board.
Got the drill bits. So let's start by drilling the pilot holes for the bigger holes. Yeah, that's a dull bit, but we have the pilot holes, which always drill the pilot hole. I don't care how good you are, just drill the damn pilot hole. Especially using this bit, just drill a pilot hole. I mean, you don't need to if you're using a spade. That's fine. Well, 10 to 18. That's 5 volts. Okay. So, outside scheduling pressures, namely the missus, meant that I have to leave the garage and come to finish this thing at home. So, I'm just gonna build it right into that thingy that on the shelf that it's gonna settle. So, A, I have some proper painter's tape, and B, I actually have glue here, which I can use because there was nothing at the garage. So, I've test fitted that thing, it fits. So, let's see if any other parts fit. Namely, this one. It's a fucking rise, it does not fit. So, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna take just a few millimeters off the other side, this side, and then it's gonna fit. Then I also need to properly sand these little holes because So let's do the final glue up with the assistance of Sansa. She's a real lab dog. that's the build complete. I now have a way to store my paints that is way better than, well, what I used to have, which was a pile of paint bottles. There are things that, looking back, I would do differently now, like use different drill bits, maybe a step bit instead of the hole saw and the spade bit. But I mean, fuck around and find out, right? Till next time.